Dancing monkey. I spent 4 years as a dancing monkey and human tape recorder. If you've ever looked up being an English teacher online, chances are you have come across these terms. So as an English teacher, is that really what you are? Yeah, but I have been an English teacher in Japan for 4 years. Not now. I first came over to Japan on the JET program, which if you don't know, is like a government sponsored program that places English teachers in public schools around Japan. So I did that for 2 years in rural Gifu Prefecture, where I taught at kindergartens, elementary schools, and middle schools. Then after that, I moved to Tokyo and I taught 2 years part-time at an eikaiwas, or an English conversation school. It's kind of something like a cram school. So chances are, if you're going to be coming over to teach English in Japan, it's gonna be one of these two roads, either in proper schools or conversation schools. So I think I have a pretty rounded experience that I can share with you. I've kind of done it all and I've met so many people. I've talked to people who hate their lives. I've talked to people who love children with their whole hearts. It's all here. So the thing with teaching English is if you're coming from abroad, usually whatever program or company you're going through, you're not going to be able to choose exactly where you are. So it is random to a degree, no matter what, basically. On JET, for example, you cannot even choose the city. So you could have requested Tokyo and been placed with me out in the mountains where there's nothing. So similarly, you also cannot guarantee how good your situation is gonna be. You could end up in a really bad school with bad teachers on an island that you hate, or the opposite. You don't know. You don't know. So does being an English teacher really suck that much? Because everyone online kind of just complains and says how stupid the job is and pointless and blah, blah, blah. I don't actually think it's that bad of a job, guys. I'm not going to fearmonger. I'm going to talk you down. Being an English teacher is not that bad. It's pretty fine. So I want to talk about my experiences working in public school and private English conversation school. And I also want to give some advice, things like that, talk about some kind of crazy things. Okay, so JET, let's talk about it. I'd like to emphasize you are an assistant language teacher. Assistant. You're not the main English teacher. So many people online complain about like not having responsibility or just being treated like a tape recorder, whatever. Assistant, okay? I'm not a licensed teacher. Even if you are, you don't speak fluent Japanese probably, and you're not licensed in Japan. I guarantee that. So yeah, sometimes you're gonna be a tape recorder, but it also means you're the fun teacher. It means you're the teacher the kids see walk into class and they're like, yes, it's Ali sensei. We're gonna play games and she's cool and fun and she doesn't yell and you're popular or you should be more. Okay, I'm gonna get into that later. But yeah, so my workday on JET and most people's is 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. So it is early, but in hindsight, these are very short working hours for Japan. Oh my God. An 8-hour workday, including lunch, is rare. And I would usually teach 5 to 6 classes a day. So I was on the busier side. I know lots of other JETs who only teach like 5 to 6 classes a week. Personally, I'd prefer to be busy because the day went by pretty fast, but you don't know what you're gonna get. So it was a full schedule, but again, assistant. You're not expected usually to prepare like materials. The only thing I was expected to bring was a game if they requested it, that kind of thing. Because you're the fun monkey, you're the dancing monkey. But you know what? Look, if you're teaching 1st grade back in your home country, you're still gonna be a dancing monkey. It's kind of just part of teaching children. I'm emphasizing this because I see so many complaints online about how they're basically just treated as like a mascot who shows up to class and spins around and sings the ABCs or whatever. Yeah, that's what you're hired to be. I don't know. It's not really that bad. I think it's all about expectations. Like, do not come to Japan expecting to be given like teacher roles and stuff. You don't want that. Are you crazy? You're gonna have to do overtime. You don't want that. You want to be the assistant. And honestly, if you prove yourself capable, over time, I was given a lot more responsibilities. The teachers relied on me a lot more. They kind of just trusted that I could do things, that I could handle things. Too much, honestly. So it was kind of illegal, which I said at the time multiple times, but where like sometimes the elementary school teachers especially would just leave me in the classroom alone and just basically tell me to teach the lesson. Like after you've done 1 year on the program, it's easy. The lessons are not hard. But like legally, I'm not like a teacher. So They're not really supposed to leave me in a classroom full of children, but it'll happen to you. It's gonna happen. If you speak any Japanese, basically that's their license. Be like, okay, she can handle it. Unless, if there's an emergency, she'll handle it. So that happened a lot. Or they would just go to the back of the classroom and grade and basically say, Ali sensei, just play a freaking game for 40 minutes. I don't care. Great. Yeah, generally elementary school, you just play games. You just like read things out in the textbook. You're just supposed to make class fun and talk to the kids and make them not hate English. I think that is the main priority because a lot of these kids hate English. Also, in terms of Japanese, there's no guarantee that anyone in your elementary school will speak any English. In elementary school, it is usually the homeroom teachers who are teaching like all the subjects. So English is a subject now. It wasn't a few years ago, hence this issue. So a lot of them just don't speak any English, and that's where you come in. It also means if you don't speak any Japanese, you're gonna have a lot of communication problems, but your Japanese is gonna get good. It's fine. Like, don't stress about it too much. It'll work out, honestly. You have to be flexible. If you're moving to the other side of the world, you need to be flexible. You just need to roll with it. Middle school, things are different. Middle high school, the kids are expected to kind of be a lot more same. At my middle school, basically all the girls had one of like 4 haircuts. I could not tell any of them apart because they all had the same uniform on, they all had the same haircut. And from there, basically the focus is gonna shift to tests. They're studying for the tests 100% of the time. So English class turns into tape recorder time. Here, I don't play that many games in middle school. So yeah, you'll be a tape recorder, but I also had to like do small talk sessions with unwilling participants at the front of the classroom every day, things like that. So from middle and high school, you'll also be working alongside someone who does speak English, at least on paper. What I mean by this is like, for example, there was this one JTE, Japanese teacher of English, he was like an old guy. He never freaking spoke a word of English to me. I don't think he treated me like a human because I'm a woman and foreign and blah, 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 blah. He's old. I don't know. Anyways, I only went to his class a few times because I would just stand there, like in the corner by the desk. I would just stare out the window the whole time. He'd ask me to maybe read out like one passage for 50 minutes. I also once had a teacher who was a really great English teacher. He was really nice. He's the one who kind of decided where I was going, and that's why he only sent me to that awful man like a handful of times. But he did get mad at a student and he threw the student's desk and chair and the student out into the hallway. Like he literally picked up the desk and threw it like in an anime. It was like that. So that would not fly in America. So that was like culture shock. But overall, teaching English isn't that bad in the countryside. But yeah, look, if you're doing JET especially, there's other programs, but JET pays really well compared to Japanese salaries, which are in general quite low. Like I made more money as a 22-year-old with no qualifications as an ALT than my Japanese teacher of English, who was like 27 and like a real teacher who worked like 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. And if you live in the countryside, you know what? Your rent is gonna be cheap. Like I paid less than $200 a month for my rent. Don't ask me how much I'm paying now in Tokyo. Yeah, everyone was honestly nice. The kids were all very nice, except for one demon class who everyone collectively gave up on. And they did bully the teacher and she cried multiple times. But other than that, the kids were great. And you know, it's fine. Like the teachers were all nice to me. I did speak Japanese a bit. I was like in 3 level, I guess. And yeah, I was a mascot. And yeah, I was a tape recorder and a dancing monkey and all that. But you know what? Look, you just need to let it go. You're just there for the fun. Just have fun. I mean, yeah, there were bad parts. It was really boring sometimes. The first 6 months, I especially remember being so exhausted after the end of every day. Like I would just go home and just watch Netflix because I was so tired. Like I couldn't do anything else. But you know, for those first 6 months, going home, watching Netflix, watching Outlander, whatever drama from the US was like the only outlet I had, especially when you're really in this immersive Japanese environment. All you want to do when you go home is like watch English things, honestly. So thank God I had NordVPN, who is the sponsor of today's video. No, I'm serious. I had NordVPN. If you have not heard of it before, NordVPN is a VPN service that protects your private and personal information, which lets you browse the internet safely. And my favorite feature is that you can change your IP address, so it makes it look like you're in a different country, and that means you get to watch more things, more Netflix, more anime, more everything. So I could watch my favorite US/Scottish dramas in Japan because they're not on Japanese Netflix. Not a lot of things are geo-blocked, guys, more things than you think. Whether you're traveling or moving abroad, it's very important to have a VPN so you can watch everything you actually want to. Like Crunchyroll is completely blocked here. You can't get on the website. No subtitled anime. A lot of the anime on Netflix doesn't have subtitles. So I could come home from teaching my 6-year-olds and watch my Scottish romance in peace. So if this sounds like something you're interested in trying out for yourself, I encourage you to try out NordVPN risk-free with their 30-day money-back guarantee through my link at nordvpn.com/Allison in Tokyo, where right now every purchase of a 2-year plan gets an extra 4 months free. Thank you, NordVPN. Now let's talk about eikaiwas, English Conversation School. So to my knowledge, the main 2 ways to go teach like in the countryside is through Jet and Interact. I guess there's a few more, but a lot of people go the eikaiwa route because they want to be guaranteed a city placement, especially in Tokyo. And it's also a lot faster moving. Like Jet, you have to apply like a year in advance. Eikaiwas, you can be over here like a few months later. So I have only personally worked part-time at eikaiwa, but I know so many people who work full-time. So eikaiwas, okay, in my opinion, eikaiwas are good because you can pick like you're going to Tokyo or whatever, and it's really easy to get a job, honestly, at them. But there's a lot of negatives, and I think most people who dislike teaching English in Japan are those who teach at eikaiwas. So I've only worked part-time at eikaiwas because I was like working while I was going to grad school here. And if you're also working at it part-time, you're probably gonna think it's fine. Like it was fine for me. I enjoyed it. It was like totally fine. But once you're full-time, which most people are when they come over, life can be hard, especially at the beginning because you get the worst hours, you know? So my eikaiwa was focused on children. So I taught ages 0 to 12, but most eikaiwas you're gonna be teaching like elementary school to businessmen, like adults. The negative of this is people have jobs and people have school, right? So when do you work? Yeah, your hours are gonna be late. I think the earliest I've heard someone I know teaching eikaiwa start work was probably the earliest is 10, but I'd say it's more common to be like 12 or even 1, I've heard. You work 9-hour days, so that means you're working 12 to 9 or 1 to 10. You see where I'm going with this? And especially at the beginning, they usually want you to work on weekends, at least 1 weekend day. In the beginning, probably both, honestly, it's common. That means your weekend days could be like Tuesday, Wednesday. So hard for you to have a social life, honestly, when you work at eikaiwa. The pay is also usually worse at the beginning in eikaiwa. But the job itself is not bad. Like few people complain about the actual job. It's usually the hours and things like that. Like you're not gonna probably be expected to prepare anything. Eikaiwas have they have a curriculum. So you just show up and you do it. At my eikaiwa, it was basically just for kids, so it was kind of different. It was like a small classroom setting, like between like 2 to 8 kids a class. And I would do the dancing monkey thing. How is the weather? It's sunny. It's sunny. You guys, it's not that bad. But the older your kids are, the more it's just gonna be like test prep. Honestly, like so many eikaiwa things are just Aiken prep, which is like a English test here for kids. I mean, you're basically teaching at like a cram school. It's like that. Also, some of the companies, when you come over, some of them will like give you housing, they'll tell you live here and pay rent here. And this happened to one of my friends. I think she lived like an hour away from her English school. So she spent like an hour or hour plus commuting every day, which is awful, especially when combined with those hours. So imagine you work 12 to 9, but your commute takes an hour. Yeah, no social life. You can't have a social life like that. So yeah, you may be thinking, wow, Allison, eikaiwas suck. Again, part-time, it's great. But I would not view your eikaiwa job, like your first eikaiwa job, as like somewhere you're gonna be a long time. Most people either despair and leave within a year, or they change jobs, like to a different eikaiwa even. you can get much better conditions for yourself once you're already here. And again, the kids were fine. Like, they're fine. They're nice, usually, especially at these cram schools, because their parents are paying money for them to go here. So if they do act out, their parents will be told, and yeah, you can guess how that goes, but it's not your problem. So, tips and reality. I've kind of been hinting at it, but guys, so many people you see online who complain about teaching English. Like, yes, there are legitimately very bad situations that some people find themselves in. Like, genuinely, I've heard of some pretty bad situations, but the majority of situations, like the large majority, are good. Like, they're fine. Like, most schools are totally fine. And don't worry if you're thinking of doing it, don't worry. Like, it'll probably be fine. Because you know what? The people who complain online are mostly just like not good teachers. Like, I've met so many people who complain, and it's like, why are you complaining about this? And second, it sounds like it's your fault. Like, I've met so many people whose personalities are so not suited to being a teacher. Like, I'm not saying I'm some super teacher. I'm not. I mean, I don't talk like this to children, but if you don't even like kids, what are you doing? Why are you in a public elementary school? So if you're the type of person who just really doesn't want to teach, don't do it, because the kids deserve better, first of all. Like, and second, like, at least try. Like, most people are not good teachers at the beginning. I didn't know what I was doing, but I got a lot better because I kept trying to get better. And honestly, if you're a freaking ALT, all you need to do is be like likable, like literally just be nice and friendly to the kids, and that's it. You're done. That's your job. Okay, and again, guys, people who post are usually the only ones who have something to complain about. Like, I had a pretty good, neutral, good experience teaching. I don't really post about that ever online because it's fine. I don't, you know? So take all stories on Reddit with a grain of salt. Also, a lot of people come here straight out of college, so this is like their first like real job, and they don't know how to be adults, and they don't know how to do a job either. So yes, there are going to be many moments where you think, God, why are they doing it this way? This is so inefficient. Why am I teaching English like this? And you know what? You just need to accept it's not your problem. You just have to be flexible and roll with it, because you're an ALT. You're the eikaiwa teacher. You're not some amazing teacher. You just have to accept it. Things are inefficient. Things don't make sense. That's Japan. And you know what? Okay, now it just sounds like I'm complaining about people, but you know what? You're not gonna revolutionize English. Stop trying to revolutionize the English classroom. I see so many people online. They're complaining like, oh, I had this great idea to reform the curriculum, but the JTE wouldn't accept it. Like, oh my God, yeah, because you're 22 and you don't even have a teaching degree and you just showed up. What are you doing? Don't try to reform English in the country or even at your school. It's not your place. It's just not your place. What you can do instead is give your kids a really good classroom experience, have fun, and inspire your fellow Japanese English teachers. Yeah, try out one of your like reform things or whatever in the classroom, have the teacher watch it, and half the time they'll be like, you know what? That's pretty cool. I'm gonna try it too. I did that a few times. I was never seeking to reform the English program, but again, assistant language teacher, guys. Look, if you're only planning on coming for like 1, 2, 3 years, just have fun. Enjoy it. Just do a good job at school. Have your kids like you. Teach some English. Study some Japanese. You're gonna have fun, and it's not gonna be that bad. Don't stress over everything. By the way, improve your Japanese, even if you're only here a year. I promise you, every little bit will make your experience so much better. So much better. That's the video. Being an English teacher, it's not that bad. It's like you're the assistant language teacher, and once you embody that role, you'll probably have fun. Like, yeah, there are a lot of frustrating experiences I had, like with that sexist teacher and things like that. They exist, but you know what? They exist everywhere, and it's not worth your time. It's not worth it. Because most people, the large majority of people, will be nice to you if you're nice to them. Like, that's it. They want to help you. They know you just came from the US or whatever, and you're just like plopped into Japan and you don't know anything. They know. Ask for help. Be nice and your experience will be good, I promise you. Well, usually. Okay, so thanks for watching the video. Sorry, I just talked a lot. But yeah, don't be scared. Don't be scared. It's fine. It's fine. Everyone online just always complains, but I don't know. I don't know. So please like the video and leave a comment down below about anything you learned or your thoughts. I don't know. Maybe I have divisive opinions. I don't know. And subscribe for more videos about life in Japan. And I'll see you guys back here again soon. Bye bye.